Dear Taurus, there is a truth that has been gathering at the edges of your awareness, a quiet hum beneath the noise of your daily life. It is not a crisis knocking at your door, but something far more subtle and far more profound. It is the feeling of a story that is reaching its final pages, a silent recognition that the person you have been is no longer the person you are becoming. You can feel it, can't you? That gentle but persistent pressure from within, urging you to look at what you've so carefully avoided. This is not a moment to turn away. This is the very reason you were guided here. Because the universe is conspiring, not against you, but for you, orchestrating a revelation that is destined to set you free. It is a truth that promises to dismantle the illusions you've mistaken for safety. So, before we journey deeper into this unfolding, I invite you to make a conscious choice. This is more than just watching a video. It's an energetic agreement with your own soul. If you are ready to release the familiar in order to embrace your most authentic self, take a moment now to connect with this sacred space. Like this message to affirm your readiness, subscribe to become part of this community of souls who are awakening together, and share this with anyone you feel needs to hear it. And in the comments below, I want you to write this powerful declaration: I am ready to see the truth that sets me free. By writing these words, you are not just leaving a comment, you are planting a seed of intention in the fertile ground of your own life. Now, let's talk about the energies that are swirling around you. There is a narrative being woven in the collective consciousness right now, whispers about shifts in love, turning points in finance, and changes in your well-being. Many readings will point to these events, these external markers of change. They might speak of new relationships, financial opportunities, or the need for patience. And while those observations touch upon a surface-level reality, they fail to honor the monumental inner shift that is giving birth to them. They see the flower, but they do not speak of the tremendous pressure that forced the seed to break open in the darkness of the soil. That is where we must go, not to the symptoms, but to the core. Because the change that is coming for you, dear Taurus, is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. You are the epicenter of this transformation. For so long, you have been the master of stability, the architect of a life built on solid ground. You learned early on that predictability was your shield, that as long as you controlled the variables, you could protect your heart from the chaos of the unknown. Your steadfastness became your identity, a source of pride and a comfort to others. But what happens when the fortress you built to keep pain out also prevents joy from getting in? What happens when the stability you worship becomes a beautiful, gilded cage? That is the silent struggle you've been living. A part of you has been yearning to grow, to expand, to experience a life less curated and more vibrantly, messily alive. But another part, the part conditioned by old wounds and deep-seated fears, has been holding on with all its might, whispering that change is a threat, that the unknown is synonymous with loss. You have become so skilled at maintaining the status quo that you've convinced yourself this is peace, when in reality, it has been a long, slow suffocation of the soul. This inner conflict is now reaching its crescendo. The universe is presenting you with situations, conversations, and feelings that you can no longer rationalize away. The cracks in your fortress are widening, not because you are weak, but because the light of your own truth has become too powerful to be contained. And this light, while it feels unsettling, is illuminating your path to liberation. Let's look at how this profound truth is rewriting every area of your life. When we speak of love, the narrative isn't just about whether a new person is coming or if an old relationship will survive. That is far too simple for what you are experiencing. The real story is about you finally refusing to accept a love that requires you to be small. If you are in a partnership, you may be feeling a void that you can no longer ignore. It's not necessarily a lack of love, but a lack of resonance. You've changed. You have been undergoing this quiet, internal revolution, and you are realizing that the person you are becoming can no longer fit into the container of the relationship as it has been. The old dynamics, the silent compromises, the unspoken needs you swallowed to keep the peace, they are all rising to the surface, demanding to be seen. The energy of the Two of Cups, of a true, soul-aligned partnership, is indeed present. But it is not a promise that things will magically fix themselves. It is an invitation to have the terrifyingly honest conversation. To say, this is who I am now. This is what my soul needs. Can we grow into this new space together? For some, this will lead to a rebirth of the relationship, a deepening of intimacy you never thought possible. For others, it will be the gentle, heartbreaking, and necessary realization that your paths are diverging. Because true love, the love your soul is crying out for, does not ask you to betray yourself. And if you are single, Taurus, the Ace of Cups speaks of a new beginning. But this is not about passively waiting for someone to arrive. This period of solitude has been a sacred chrysalis. The universe has been asking you to first fall in love with the person you are becoming in the absence of anyone else's reflection. It's about healing the part of you that believes you need a partner to be whole. You have been learning to be your own rock, not out of necessity, but out of devotion to yourself. So be wary of connections that feel like a distraction, a way to fill the silence. The person who is meant for you will not be drawn to the fortress you once were. They will be drawn to the garden that is beginning to grow in its place. They will not be intimidated by your strength, but they will also not be afraid of your vulnerability. Do not rush. Do not fill your hands with a love that is merely convenient, for you will have no room to receive the love that is truly destined for you. Now, let's turn our gaze to your work and your finances. The energy of the Magician is incredibly potent for you right now, and many will tell you this is a time to manifest abundance. And they are right, but they often miss the most crucial part of the spell. True manifestation is not just about positive thinking or hard work. You are the hardest worker in the zodiac, Taurus. If effort alone were the key, you would already have everything you desire. No, the magic that is required now is the magic of alignment. It is about asking yourself a difficult question. Is the work I am doing an expression of my soul, or is it merely a pillar of my security? Have you been clinging to a job, a career path, or a way of earning money that feels safe and responsible, but drains your life force with every passing day? That steady paycheck may be feeding your bank account, but is it starving your spirit? This is where the Justice card comes into play, bringing a powerful karmic rebalancing. The universe is declaring that the time for living out of alignment is over. You can no longer trade your passion for a pension plan, your joy for a job title. This doesn't necessarily mean you must quit your job tomorrow. It means you must begin to infuse your work with your truth. It means having the courage to set boundaries, to ask for what you're worth, to pitch the project you've been dreaming of, or to start building something on the side that truly lights you up. The financial shift that is coming is a direct result of this inner shift. When you stop operating from a place of fear, fear of lack, fear of instability, you open up a flow of abundance that is rooted in purpose. Opportunities will appear not because you chase them, but because you have become a vibrational match for them. You are no longer signaling to the universe, "I need to be safe." You are signaling, "I am ready to thrive." And the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will respond in kind. Have patience, not as a passive act of waiting, but as an active state of trust. Trust that as you do the inner work of aligning with your soul, the outer world will have no choice but to rearrange itself around you. This inner transformation also has profound implications for your physical body and your well-being. Your body is not a machine. It is a sacred vessel that keeps a record of your emotional truth. The stress you feel, the exhaustion that clings to you, the aches and pains that arise, these are not random. They are your body's way of speaking to you. The wrists are the bridge between your arms, your strength, and your hands, your ability to create and take action. If there is tension there, it is symbolic. It speaks of a feeling of being handcuffed to a situation you long to escape. It speaks of the frustration of wanting to do something new, to build something different, but feeling held back by your own resistance to change. The greatest act of self-care you can perform right now is not a new diet or exercise routine. It is giving yourself permission to rest, not just to sleep, but to truly rest from the exhausting work of holding it all together. Rest from the pressure of being the reliable one. Rest from the performance of being fine. Your body is carrying the weight of all the unspoken truths, all the deferred dreams, and all the fears you've refused to face. This is your invitation to listen. When you feel that tension in your shoulders, ask yourself, what burden am I carrying that is not mine? When you feel that knot in your stomach, ask, what truth am I afraid to digest? True healing begins when you stop treating your body as an inconvenience and start honoring it as your wisest oracle. As you release the emotional density, you will feel a lightness and vitality return that you thought was lost forever. Finally, let's speak of your family and your connections. You have so often been the pillar in your family, the unwavering presence in your friendships. But this role, while noble, has come at a cost. It has taught you to suppress your own needs, to put on a brave face, and to believe that your value lies in your ability to be unshakable. The energy now is calling for a profound healing of these dynamics. But it begins with you. It begins with you allowing yourself to be human in front of the people who are used to you being a rock. It may mean having a conversation where you finally admit, "I'm not okay," or "I need support." This is not a sign of weakness, Taurus. It is the ultimate act of authenticity. It gives others permission to see the real you, not just the role you've been playing. You may find yourself mediating conflicts or supporting loved ones, but you will do so from a new place, not from a sense of obligation, but from a place of genuine, heart-centered compassion. You will also learn to recognize when you are enabling old, unhealthy patterns. The justice energy is at play here too, bringing balance to your relationships. You are no longer available for one-sided connections where you give everything and receive little in return. This is your time to break generational patterns of emotional silence. By daring to speak your truth with kindness and honesty, you are not just healing yourself, you are offering a powerful gift of healing to your entire lineage. You are showing them that it is safe to be vulnerable, that it is safe to feel, and that true connection is forged in authenticity, not in performance. So you see, Taurus, all of these external changes in love, in money, in health, in family, are merely ripples on the surface of a deep, powerful, tidal wave of inner transformation. The core truth is this: you are in the process of dismantling a life built by your fear so you can finally build a life that is an expression of your soul. It is intense. I know. Everything in you may be screaming to hold on, to retreat to the familiar comfort of your old ways. You will be tempted to rationalize, to make excuses, to believe the lie that this discomfort is a sign you are on the wrong path. But I am here to tell you that discomfort is the surest sign that you are finally on the right path. It is the feeling of your soul stretching beyond its old limitations. It is the sound of the chains breaking. Do not be afraid of what is falling away. Do not mourn the person you used to be. They served their purpose. They kept you safe. They got you here, but they cannot take you where you are going next. What lies on the other side of this fear is not chaos or destruction. It is a version of you that is lighter, freer, and more powerfully real than you have ever allowed yourself to be. A you that builds not from a need for security, but from a place of joy. A you that loves not to fill a void, but to share an overflow. A you that is no longer a fortress, but a wide-open, flourishing garden, ready to receive all the beauty and abundance the universe is waiting to give you. This is your moment of rebirth. Embrace the truth, even if it shakes you, for on the other side of the tremor is the solid ground of your most authentic self. And from that place, dear Taurus, everything, absolutely everything begins anew.